Hi, everyone, and welcome to our second interview in our interview series. And today I'm so fortunate to have an opportunity to interview Tammy Munson, who has been a military spouse for many years and has done many relocations and PCSing is what you call them, with the military. Her husband served in our armed services with the Army. And she also has a blog called TammyMunson.com, so please check her out. So welcome, Tammy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Janet. This is going to be fun.
It is. It is. Okay, well, the first question I have for you today is, how many PCSs did your family do?
We have done a total of 5.
Okay.
5 in 6 years, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it to you.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, my goodness.
Some were fun, some not so fun, but all of them were definitely adventures in one way or another.
That is so true. Where did you go?
Well, we started off in Minnesota.
Okay.
We lived there as a civilian family for 8 years, and then we moved to Wichita Falls, Texas,
Cool.
near Shepherd Air Force Base, and we were there for about a year.
Okay.
And then we went to the Virginia, D.C. area.
Okay.
Near Fort Belvoir. We were there for 2 years, and we actually did 2 moves while we were there. We went from an apartment to a house.
Okay.
We were there for 2 years, and then we got orders to Fort Carson in Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
And we were there, well, the girls and I were there for 2 years. My husband was there for about a year in 6 months increments because he was deployed with the 4th ID for a year.
Okay.
And then we moved, then he came back. He decided to get out of the Army, and then we moved to, here, Mason City, Iowa.
Cool. Okay, cool. Yep, you've had your go. That's
yes.
for sure. What was the most challenging PCS you've had, and why?
I think it would have to be our very first one, and there were several things that were happening. Number one, it was our first one. I was new to being a military wife. I had been a wife, a civilian, for, all of my life, but never have done the military spouse thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a crazy, crazy time. And my husband was already gone. He was already in Texas. He was in training, so he couldn't leave and help or do anything.
Right.
We didn't know what we were doing. We knew nothing. I mean, I didn't even know what PCS was at the time.
Yeah.
And it was just crazy. And I had our 2 young daughters at home. One who was going through the tail end of some medical issues. And the other one, she was just 3. She was just a toddler. So 3-year-olds are trouble anytime. Especially when you're trying to move. And it was almost like the nail in the coffin of that PCS was I got laryngitis the day the movers came to the house.
Oh, no.
I couldn't talk. They couldn't hear me. It was just one of the most horrible experiences I've ever had, but I learned a lot from it. I really, really did. I learned how to do every move really easy after that.
That's awesome. So that's cool. And I think you've already mentioned how you overcame it is you just learn. And sometimes getting thrown in a situation makes you, dig deep and find, skills and talents that you never expected you had.
Yeah, and the other thing that we did is, we didn't really know much about it. And so we went on the internet. This is back in 2005 when we first moved. So there wasn't a lot of websites and blogs and things that you can go back and look at and
Right.
But there were a few sites and there were a few like message boards kind of thing. And there was a lot of questions. I found my one friend Tara.
Awesome.
She got just inundated questions from me. She had done it numerous times, and she had been a military spouse for a number of years. So there was a lot of calling her up, bright and early in the morning. Okay, right. I've got 6 questions for you. I need you to answer them for me right now.
So amazing.
So that's really
how you connect and you find those support
networks.
Yeah, you do.
You do. Yeah, you do.
Okay, and what would you say is the biggest thing you learned during PCSing that you wish someone would have told you in the beginning?
I wish they would have told us how to do it. Here's a list. These are all the things that you're going to need. And these are things that you need to do. You need to make a binder. You need to make sure that you have 2,700 copies of your husband's orders. I mean, not literally,
Right,
but,
no, but
you know, and it's just a number of different things that it would be nice if somebody would, put out like a pamphlet. Okay, these are the things that you need. These are the skills that you need to have. And these are the people who you talk to when you don't know what's going on.
Exactly. A checklist would be
Yes,
really powerful.
checklist would be great.
Because especially if you're new or you're coming in at a different phase of life, it's difficult. It's difficult if
it really is. I mean, I thought I had it pretty under control. We had, our kids were happy and healthy, and we had moved before as a civilian family. And I thought, well, how hard can it be? The military does all the work for you. Well, yeah, they do. The hard part, the heavy lifting, but it's getting to that move day is like, oh my gosh, this is ever going to end? And it's not just, when they pick up your stuff, it's when they have to drop off your stuff too, and you get to your location. Mm-hmm. It's just, it's a crazy time, and you have to be uber flexible.
That's true. And sometimes it's just finding the right person that you need to connect with. That's the challenging part sometimes.
Right, exactly, and especially sometimes in the military, if you need to talk to so-and-so, and so-and-so's not answering their phone, and they don't have voicemail for whatever reason, and they're not checking their email, or they're not responding to your email, it can be really hard to do the things that you need to do because you need them for something.
That's true. That's true. Now, are there any other tips that you have for the trailing spouse?
I would say, I mentioned, number one, you need to be as flexible as possible. We have a saying in the military, Semper Gumby, be flexible. Because anything that could possibly happen, it will happen at some point. Mm-hmm. Try and be as organized as you can. Create that binder. Put all the paperwork that you're going to need, copies of orders, birth certificates, marriage licenses, Social Security information, anything that you're going to need at your next duty station when you get there and you check in and everything. It needs to be all in one spot. You can quickly locate and go, here you go. I've got it. I don't have to look for it. I know exactly where it is. So. And expect the unexpected.
Exactly. And, sometimes you just have to set a positive tone. Things may go wrong, but, laugh it off. It'll get through it, and you find how strong you are in the end.
Right. Absolutely.
And definitely, I like your tip about the binder and stuff. I always do that. That's the first thing I do. And whatever works for you, if a folder, a file, whatever, a binder, that's huge in trying to keep organized because it's all in one place because it's so chaotic when people are attacking you.
And it is. And I mean, toward the end, like when the PCS is all over and done with and all the boxes are back in our house, if you look at that binder, it's not nearly as organized as when we started. And papers are shoved in wherever you can throw them, but it's still that information is there. And then the next time that you have to move, you know exactly what you're going to need, and you can just reorganize that, and you're ready to go the next time you have to move.
So true, because it's a great starting point once you've developed it.
Right, exactly.
Cool.
Exactly.
Well, thanks, Tammy. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And everyone out there, please check out her awesome blog, TammyMunson.com. Thanks again. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.